let's talk about 5 ways you can use the daily pages of your planner. I know that there are some days where I don't use my planner, so I have found a few ways that I can still make use of my daily pages so my planner doesn't go to waste, and hopefully this will help inspire you use your planner in a more creative way as well. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Seppi, and I share with you simple and practical tips to live a happier and more meaningful life. And one of the ways that I stay happy is by being productive and organized and making sure I'm on top of everything in my life, between my life, my business, my health goals, etc. And this is where my planner comes into play. This is the Hobonichi Cousin. This is the planner I've been using for 2 years, and I will be using the same one next year as well because I have found a system that really works for me. I use the Hobonichi Cousin as a functional planner, incorporating some decorative elements, but it's mostly to stay organized and productive. I have a lot more videos in terms of how I use my Hobonichi Cousin, whether my monthly or weekly planning process. So if you want to watch those videos, you can watch that. But this video is solely focused on the daily pages because I have been getting questions from you on how I use my daily pages. So here are the 5 ways that I use them. And when I'm done talking you through the 5 different ways, then I'm also going to do my daily planning. So I like to prepare my pages the night before. Right now we are Sunday and tomorrow is Monday. So I'm going to sit down and do my planning anyway. So at the end of this video, if you want to see how I set up the pages as well, I will show you so you can watch through the whole video to see a walk through of exactly how I do it. So let's get into how I use my Hobonichi Cousin, the daily pages of my Hobonichi Cousin. So first things first, like I mentioned, I use my Hobonichi Cousin as a planner. Therefore, the first and main way that I use it is, of course, as a planner. So to organize my day. So this is generally the same layout that I use day in and day out. This is a system that I set up by the beginning of this year, and I have found that it is the best layout for myself. As you can see, I try to keep the same layout day in and day out because I find that, and this is a tip that I've shared before as well, I have found that keeping the same layout when we're talking about the weekly spread or the daily spreads, it does make it a lot easier for me to know every single day, just using the same layout, copying and pasting by incorporating simple decorative elements, but just still having the same layout. It just makes it a lot easier and a lot more, not only easier to set things up, but a lot easier to organize myself in a day because I just know where things are. I switched it up a little bit because I want to be more intentional with my days to prioritize resting, but let me just compare how I was doing it before and how I'm doing it now. Before, the way that I was doing it is that I split my page up basically into 6, sometimes 7. So firstly, I have my to-do list for the day, things I have to get done. Then I have my to-do list for my business. So this is life to-do list, like doing chores, dropping off a package at the post office, things like that. Then I have my to-do list for my business, so things I need to get done. I have a 9-to-5 job and a business as well. So I have to make sure that I break down the task into small steps to make sure that I get things done every single day. And I'm slowly chipping away at my dream of building my business. And then I have my self-care. Even though at the front of my Hobonichi Cousin, I have my habits tracker, which I use every single day. At the end of the day, I check things off. I still like to put like a little reminder and adjust and make like a little daily adjustments. If ever I need to, for example, let's say my daily step goal is 10,000, but maybe I know that this day I'm feeling a little bit more tired, then I'm going to adjust my step goal to like 8,000, let's say. So I do like daily little adjustments for my self-care habits and my goals for the day. And then on this side, I split my day up into 3, morning, afternoon, evening. This chunk is mainly focused on when I have my 9 to 5, and the evening is when I have more time for myself to do more of the self-care stuff and more of my business work. Why I split it up is because I would get really overwhelmed with how much stuff I have to get done, which, to be fair, is still something I have to work on to minimize my to-do list, but that's a work in progress. So the way that I function is that every single day I will focus on the next 3 tasks I have to get done. And I do break it down into really simple tasks like make my bed, go for a walk, and organize the day. These are small tasks, but it still makes me help me stay focused on what I need to get done next instead of getting overwhelmed with everything else. And then once those tasks are done, I can focus on the next 3 tasks. And if I know there are things like I have a training or have a training in the afternoon, then I can adjust my schedule accordingly to know, okay, I won't have time to go for a walk during my lunch break, therefore I have to go in the morning, etc. It just helps me kind of organize the little nitty-gritty of my day. And then if I know there are things that I want to get done in the evening, just writing it down in the evening helps me think during the day, okay, I don't have time to do my yoga right now, but I'm going to write it down in the evening to make sure I get it done. Even though it's written here, it just helps me plan out the day and to plan out the schedule as I'm going. So this is the layout that I use every single day when it comes to adjust my planning. And then I add simple little decorative elements like stickers, washi tape. I use nice white liner markers to keep the same theme. And that's another tip that I give is throughout the month, I stick to the same theme. So I use the same washi tape and the same colors in terms of the colored pens, the highlighters, and the washi tape that I use, which again removes the decision fatigue of having to come up with new ways to decorate. And at the same time, it helps me make sure that I get through my stationery and actually make use of the stickers and everything that I have. And it really just takes me like 10 minutes to set everything up, and I'm good to go for the day. I often do the setup the night before, as I will show you at the end of this video. Now this was September, and now this is the slight adjustment that I made middle of the month, is instead of putting my to-do list first, I switched it up and put my self-care first. Why? Because my priority right now is my health and not all the things I have to get done. And just psychologically, if I see that self-care is the top thing, this is like a subtle reminder for me, for my subconscious mind to just focus on my self-care as the main thing that I should be doing. And the to-do list is more bottom of the page because we tend to naturally look top down and right to left. So this is going to be the quadrant that I'm going to focus on more. So that has helped, just a subtle shift of me to make sure that my self-care is my priority, and that is something that I like and that I'm going to keep going. And the last thing that I'm going to add is that in the bottom I sometimes add little notes or little like brain dumps, because one of the things, and I'll share with, this is going to be the next category as well, but I do like to have the space to just write things down, do little mini brain dumps throughout the day if I need to, because I used to have a separate journal for my brain dumps, but having everything consolidated really helps me keep on top of everything and just everything organized and put together. So this was September, and then as you can see, this is October. The layouts are going to be the same. As you can see here, it's the same layout. It's the same exact layout. Now, I just did adjust instead of writing self-care, which sometimes can get long and it's just fun to switch it up. I wrote love instead of self-care, business, and to-do list, and it's the same layout. The self-care habits, business to-do list, life to-do list, morning, afternoon, evening. And if I don't add anything in, I'm not very peeved. I'm still making use of my planner, so it's not that big of a deal. Yes, ideally I would add things, but at the same time, I think that afternoon I just got busy with work and I just didn't have time to do anything else. And I was just focused on working, so I didn't add anything to my to-do list. So that is the first way that I use the daily pages of my Hobonichi Cousin, which is the majority of my planner, which is planning and organization, of course. The next way that I use my daily pages are doing brain dumps. Like, I'm going to show you a few other ones, but I figured I would show you this one because this is not as pretty of a page, even though I added really nice elements. But as you can see, it's quite like empty and it's not as pretty as usual, because I do want to normalize that your planner is going to have empty pages. You are going to have empty sections, and you are going to have sections or pages that are not as pretty, and that's okay. At the end of the day, the way that I see it in my planner is supposed to help my life, support my life, and make it easier and better. And I'm not going to stress out about the empty pages or the ugly pages. The purpose of it is to get organized. And if some days this requires me to just do an ugly brain dump, then that's what it is, and that's okay. And put post-its that don't match the aesthetic. Like, it is what it is. So I just want to normalize that as well. So this is a more ugly brain dump page. So in the past, like I mentioned, I had a brain dump journal separate from my planner where I would sometimes just write like lists or just anything that's coming to mind and making me feel a bit overwhelmed. It's like putting my brain onto paper. But this year I just consolidated to remove one journal from my lineup because I already have 6 or 7 journals already in there, or is it 5 or 6 this year? I can't remember, but I wanted to minimize how many journals and planners I had in my lineup. And this is one of the ways that I did it, is by just adding the brain dump into my Hobonichi Cousin, which not only helps me use up more of the blank pages, but it also just helps me consolidate everything. That way I can easily refer back to a brain dump and it's all in one place instead of flipping through another journal, etc. So the brain dump that you see here is, I was just having a rough mental health day and I was getting really overwhelmed and anxious, and I wrote down reminders I need to hear today, and I just wrote down things like you're not falling behind, time is an illusion, there is no right or wrong timeline. So kind of like a brain dump of like affirmations or things that I need to remind myself of. And then here we have a list of things that I wanted to get done. This is like things of like general things that I wanted to get done, life things that I wanted to get done, and things for my business. And then I added new ink in my fountain pen, and I wanted to make sure that it was going through properly. So I wrote it out here just to like make sure it got going. So that's one of the brain dumps that I've done in the past. This is another brain dump. I was just putting down ideas onto paper for things for my business, of the things that I wanted to focus on and prioritize. I put everything down, then I kind of organized it and put it by numerical order in terms of what the priority is, which is firstly focusing on my mailing list and writing my newsletter, then focusing on my manifestation, my goal manifestation course that I want to be launching, and then my third thing was my YouTube channel. So kind of putting things onto paper, that way you can take a step back and organize yourself a little bit more. It really helps. And also psychologically, when your thoughts and ideas are on paper, it helps your brain know that the information is safe, therefore you can let go of the information a lot easier. So that's why I really like doing that. This is not quite a brain dump, but it's still cute to show you. I was going away for the weekend at a cottage, and I made a to-do list. I guess it's like a brain dump in a way, of like things I had to pack and things I wanted to prep and bake ahead of time. Adding these small touches make it look a little bit cuter. Very simple way. I do have a video that I share with you, tips on how to make creative and aesthetic spreads in your journal and planner, if you want to watch that to see how I do all of these and what are my tips on making simple but creative spreads. Another brain dump here. It's like the other one, to-do list, things for my business, things for myself, etc. Just writing things down, so that way I know that my information is safe. You even have one here. I wrote it sideways because I don't know. I was just maybe a bit more frantic, but I just wrote it down sideways. So as you can see, my brain dumps, there's no rhyme or reason to it necessarily. I find a blank space and I write it down, and then I can refer back to it if I need to, and it's all in one. The next way that I use my daily pages are to do a weekly recap. Although I use my bullet journal for gathering good memories, I thought this was an easier way to just quickly write down a few really nice memories, things that have happened throughout the week that I want to remember, and just makes it a lot easier because A, again, filling up the pages of my bullet journal, B, when I'm doing my weekly planning, I can just quickly reflect, take 5-10 minutes, write things down, or when I'm doing my daily planning, I can flip to the end of the week and fill out the page if something comes up, a good memory that I want to remember. And it's just a really nice way to A, anchor in the good memories, B, reinforce the positive emotions that I'm experiencing, and just be a lot more intentional with my mindset, with my focus, and what I'm trying to remember and anchor in versus the overwhelming anxiety, etc. I do have more elaborate creative pages in my bullet journal where I do kind of a scrapbook version of memories. I use a mini printer as well to print out pictures, but this is just an alternative that's just a little bit quicker and to make sure that I am being intentional with how I'm spending my time. And I find that one of the things that I really appreciate of how I've been using my Hobonichi Cousin is that I'm using it as a tool to be more intentional and mindful of my life. Yes, it's to organize things. Yes, it's to stay on top of everything, be productive, achieve my goals. However, the bottom line, even in terms of switching the to-do list with the self-care, is my way to be a lot more intentional of what is my priority in my life. Self-care, being present, being mindful, gathering memories, gathering the good things in my life versus focusing on the doing and just being on a constant hamster wheel of trying to achieve goals without the fulfilling and meaningful aspect behind what I'm trying to do. And we can just jump right into the next way that I use my daily pages in my planner is the weekend to-do list. So because my weekends are a little bit less structured because my 9 to 5 job is only during the week, my weekend, I just plan it out in one page. I write the weekend, which duh, but then I have like a list of things that I want to get done, things a bit more like creative and self-care things and things for my business. And then I have a space for ideas that come into mind of things I want to remember to do the following week. This is just an easy way for me to just check things off, and instead of having like a breakdown day-to-day thing for a to-do list for Saturday or Sunday, it's just like a big master list for the whole weekend. And then when I do my weekly planning, then I can flip back to this and see what did I not get done that I have to get done this week, what are the ideas that I had, and then I can plan my week ahead with those things in mind. This is again a fun way for me to get creative if I want to stay organized and just have the space to write things out, and which is also why I have mentioned this in another video. I like the size of the Hobonichi Cousin. Yes, there's empty spaces, but I kind of like it because it gives me the mental and visual space that it doesn't feel cluttered, and I don't have to write things out in such a squished way that it just feels kind of cluttered. It's big enough that I have enough space to spread out and to do decorations, but I'm still able to fill up most pages, which I really love. The last way that I use my daily pages is not exactly the daily page, but it's still a page within the Hobonichi Cousin that, you know, people will use either for a vision board or a mood board. And I wasn't sure what to use it for because, like I said, in my lineup, I have my bullet journal, which is more for my goals and my creativity. I do have a video about my full lineup and how I use each of them if you're curious about the different planners that journals and planner that I use. But I was trying to figure out how can I use this in a way that's, again, geared towards planning, productivity, and organization, because again, this is such a beautiful product that I want to make sure that I make use of it. So I decided at the beginning of this year, I think, or last year, that I'm going to use it as a life admin page. What is that? So you know those tasks that you just never get done? Go to the bank, drop off hemming pants, go update your finances, reactivate an account that you want to reactivate, go to the optometrist. These are literally what's here. Actually, I can check something off because I painted my entrance again this weekend. So yay for that. But all these life admin tasks that we tend to forget and postpone and procrastinate on, and then realize that we have so much to actually get done that would just make us feel as though we have our life in order. That's what this is. And I always split it up in priorities and bonuses of things that I have to get done this month, which, to be honest, now I look at it, I'm a bit behind for October, but that's okay. But things that I have to get done and things that would be nice to get done. So that's how I use these pages right before the daily pages. That way, when I do my weekly planning, I can easily refer back to it, or when I'm doing my daily planning, I can easily refer back to it to see, okay, today, you know what, I can check something off from my life admin tasks. And it has been a really great way for me to stay on top of things. Although, as you can see, I'm not always great with it. I still feel like I have a better hang of the things I have to get done. I feel like my finances are a little bit more in order. I'm on top of my annual medical checkups and whatnot. And it just makes me feel a little bit more organized, like I have things a bit more together. And again, I'm being more intentional with making sure I'm creating the time and scheduling things that are important for my overall well-being, whether we're talking about scheduling medical appointments like acupressure or the optometrist, or like for here, I had to make sure I booked my general doctor to get updated blood tests and a pap smear and everything else. So it's a really great way to just stay on top of everything that I need to get done. And then when I do my monthly planning, then I can refer back to this page and transfer the things that I didn't get done and make sure that I'm just being very intentional with how I am moving forward and getting things done. So now let me show you exactly how I set up my daily pages. It is currently Sunday, and when I have the time or I feel like it, I like to prepare the pages the night before. I also do it sometimes the morning of, just to do a little bit of creativity, just to get my little burst of me time creativity. So yeah, let me just show you how I'm going to prepare the pages for tomorrow. Like I've mentioned before, I like to keep things the same just because it makes it a lot easier to stay consistent, because I can just show up, I know what I'm going to do and how I'm going to make my spread, and then it helps me not have to overthink it. and easy to just show up and do the planning. And one of the ways that I do this is by using my staple. I got this at the Hobonichi Techo this year, and I'm so happy that I did. It was not a necessary purchase, but I'm so happy with it. I'm obsessed. This is probably my daily planner, my Hobonichi Cousin, and this are my go-to stationery that I use every single day. And I have everything that I need in here, so it's accessible, and at the start of every month, I switch things out in terms of the highlighters that I use, in terms of the pen that I use for the color, and in terms of the washi tape that I use. Again, it's helpful to have things the same because then you're more likely to actually use it throughout the month. And I want to make sure that I am actually using my stationery, because I do have a lot. Even though I don't have as much as a lot of people, I still have a lot of stationery that I want to use up. So this is how I have been doing that. So I just check out everything that I need. I'm just going to create a little bit more space to be able to do this pages, and I'll be right back. So first things first, I have these little dot things that I use to mark the page. They're really, really thin, so I don't add any bulk to the page, but it helps when I'm trying to flip through and get to my daily page. I'm going to keep it simple, like I said. So I have been using this washi tape from the Coffee Monsters Co. I was really excited to use it because it's so cute and it's perfect for fall. It has pumpkins, it has the little emoji that the little characters that she uses, and it's just a really great product, and I like supporting small businesses. So sometimes at the header, I will use it for things like gratitude or affirmations, but this year I've been focusing more on just adding in decorations, which I think I prefer a little bit because I do my daily journaling in my daily planner in the B6 Leuchtturm journal, and I do find that keeping it a bit separate, just the planning versus the journaling separate, just has made it a little bit easier. I'm not really overthinking how I'm putting these things. I just kind of try to set up the page in a balanced way. So if you have something on this corner, having something in this corner, not very complex, let me tell you. But I think the more you do something, the more you start finding kind of your style and seeing what you like and dislike in terms of decorations and stationery that you like to use, that you reach more for. Sorry, I find it hard to multitask apparently. So usually I actually use this little cutter, but I just use a ruler instead, which is fine. So I also am going to want to add a few little stickers afterwards, but for now I'll just leave it at that. So let me just maybe bring you a little bit closer. I'm going to use the same format as here. I'm not going to keep it complicated, like I said. This is one of my favorite ways to keep my page looking cute, is writing in caps what I'm trying to write, and then going over it with either a colored pen or a black pen and writing the same word in cursive font. And then this is my to-do list. Not complicated, right? I'll do the other page after. But I like doing things in double, that way both pages are set up for Monday and Tuesday. I keep having to check that you're still in the same frame because I filmed videos before where you weren't in frame. So I'm just trying to make sure you're actually seeing what I'm doing. So as you can see, I have the block, and then I'm gonna go in and write in cursive. Nothing complex. The next thing that I try to do is add a little bit of zhuzh, a little bit of decorations, and nothing too crazy. And my favorite new way of doing it is adding little stars. There's no specific rhyme or reason to it. It's just, I think it just accentuates the header. And then adding little circles and then adding little dots. Guys, this is really not complex. How did I come up with this? I don't know. I think I saw it somewhere and liked how it looked. And now that's one of the things that I constantly do, because it's honestly, to make your pages look aesthetic, it does not have to be complicated, and you don't have to spend too much time doing it. It really is about finding the things that you enjoy doing it, and sometimes just repeating it over and over again. Maybe just switching up the colors, switching up the layout of it, or trying different things that are really easy and simple. It's all about the little details. It's about the simple things in life, which I think is true for a lot of things. I think We get so hyper focused on the big goals, the big things that we have to do, but sometimes it is just about the details. You don't have to have this super elaborate page for it to be beautiful. Sometimes just using colored pens and a few things of washi tape and a different color is just exactly what it's going to do. So these are everything for now. And then I'm going to set up my morning, afternoon, evening. So the 3 chunks of time during the day. Again, for me mentally, it helps me just split up the day and compartmentalize because my go-to emotion is overwhelmed. And having a way to split it up consciously really helps to tell myself, okay, we're just focused on the next 3 tasks this morning. That's all we're going to be doing. And it just helps me, again, not get overwhelmed. These pens are really great. It's the Sakura Pigment Micron pens, and I love them a lot. I use the 05 for the header, and then I'm using the 01. I think the 01 is the one I use the most. So then I have the morning, afternoon, evening. I usually write it a lot smaller. I don't know why I write it so big. It's fine. We're fine. So let me just do this page off camera because you saw how it's done, and then we'll zhuzh it up just a little bit more. So I'll be right back. So here we are, the 2 pages that I have ready for Monday and Tuesday. And now the last thing that I want to be doing is adding a little bit of zhuzhing up, a little bit of extra decorations, nothing too crazy. I have these stickers that I have been using, but I kind of want to use some of the stickers that I have from the Coffee Monsters Co. that are more fall vibes. I have bought these ones for 2025, but I want to use them for my 2025 Hobonichi Cousin, which maybe sounds stupid, but it's fine. It is what it is. And at the same time, I feel as though I had saved an idea on my phone of how to place the sticker in a cute different way. That's one thing when you're looking online, if you see ideas of things that you like, that things look cute. So this is the picture. So usually I place the sticker on top of the washi tape, but they're putting it at the bottom, and I kind of like how this looks. So it's a little square. So let me see if I have a little square fall vibe sticker that I can use. So I think that I want to use one of these with the coffee, and I like using one of these little working emojis, but they're Halloween themed. And maybe I will use, no, this is another working one. Maybe I will use one of these, even though it's pink theme. Let's see if I can make it work. This is the part about journaling slash planning slash, I don't know what the last slash is. Anyway, so let me see if I can make this a little different vibe and add to it. I don't know why. I have a feeling this is not going to work the way that I think it's going to work, but it's fine. It's fine. We're fine. This is what journaling and planning is supposed to be. It's supposed to be just be fun, right? So let me just see if I can add this, and then which one will look cute with this situation? I think I'm going to go with this little bear because it's almost like he's wearing a costume. And I'm adding it here. Then I want to add a working, maybe I'll do the little witch one. I'll add the little witch because I'm working. Then I'll maybe just put it here. Like I said, as you can see, there's no necessarily rhyme or reason to it. These ones are really cute. I think I will add one of these cute little, let's just go with the one that I thought initially. Let's put it on this side, but I still want to add a few more details. So let me see if I can find more smaller stickers that I can add to these pages. Do you like how seriously I'm taking decorating my planner? I don't usually take this long, to be honest, but I feel as though when I'm filming, I have a harder time focusing because usually I'm just like in my thoughts doing things a little bit quicker and more intuitive. But at the same time, I'm paying attention to what I'm telling you to make sure that there's value to the videos that I'm sharing with you. So it becomes a little tricky. I wouldn't mind adding a little fall plant sticker situation. However, I don't know if I have anything that will match. Maybe I'll use one of these or one of these. So I like to visualize things. So I take it out and kind of like compare it to see what kind of goes. And I think this one matches a little bit better. So maybe for this one, I can layer it or I can put it here. Although it breaks into the, okay, I don't like how that looks. See? It's fine. We're fine. I think trying things out is the way to go and just, again, having fun with it. I'm sure some of you will think, oh, this is really ugly, and others will think this is really cute. Honestly, I think I'm learning how not to be a perfectionist and just to have fun with it, even though I sometimes have a hard time with that. Overall, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Let me see if I have any other stickers that I might want to add. I think I need to be more smart with the stickers that I buy and stop getting the emojis, but getting more of the little additional stuff. I don't like how this looks, if I'm honest with you, but we're going to embrace it and roll with it and just, oh, see, this is cute. There's these little quotes. Let me just do this actually. Let's see if I can fit this in. Today's a fresh start, or let your dreams blossom. I have been hyper focused on making my dreams come true when it comes to building my business. So let me just put this here. That's very cute. I like that. And you know what I'm going to maybe add? I'm just going to add a few little decorations like doodling just to tie things together. Honestly, I think that's good enough. I am a perfectionist and this is a good practice for me not to get obsessed over the details. It's not a big deal. In a few days, I'm going to forget that I don't like these details and it's fine. All right, so these are the pages that I'm using for the next 2 days. If you want more planning tips and ideas on how to use your planner and what spreads to use, make sure to watch this playlist here where I show you my daily, weekly, and monthly planning process. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sending you a lot of love. Bye for now.